Hi, my name is Yueh Yu from the course 6003 CEM Web API Development, and this is my project for Coursework 2. So for this project, I decided to go for an Afford City website, which is a website to help user to determine if the user is if the individual is able to afford living in a certain country or not. So firstly, users have to select the location, let's say Berlin, Germany, and let's say the annual salary is this much. After clicking on calculate affordability, the data is sent to the backend, and these data will be displayed here, which affordable based which is the monthly salary, estimated monthly salary based on the annual salary, estimated rent, living costs, and the disposable income. As you can see here, it says affordable. What if it's not affordable? If it's not affordable, it will display not affordable. So let's test it out. Let's say Melbourne, Australia, with this much salary. Let's click on calculate, and as you can see here, it says not affordable. And in here, the calculations that I searched here will also be displayed here in the saved locations. And users are also able to edit and delete. So let's say the users wants to delete Berlin. After clicking on it, it will be removed. And if user wants to edit, after clicking on edit, as you can see here, you can edit the information and then save the information. So for these features, I built it using React Material UI as well as Axios for the API communication. Here is the backend. For the backend, I use MongoDB for the database, and I use Rapid API, and this is the Rapid API key. I use port 5000, and the node environment is set to development. As you can see, for the front end, I use render for the deployment, and this server.js is the backend. As you can see, I connected to MongoDB, and here are the rest of the codes, which is the update locations and the save locations. And here are the routes, the API return lists for other countries, the cities listed in the database, the save calculations history, data fetch, external data fetch, and save and afford cost calculator, which you can see here are the calculations. And app.js is my front end. As you can see, as mentioned before, I use the Material UI and React for the front end. And here are the fetch cities, the calculation handler, and over here is where I start coding for the UI, as you can see here. And for the back end, and for the client.js, I also included the add request interceptor and the add response interceptor. And for the database, I said before, I use MongoDB. And here are the save calculations after user did the calculations here. The calculations that are saved will be here in the calculations. And city cost table is where you can see the cities from where the data is retrieved. And over here is the testing for Postman. And as you can see, here is for the fetch cities, I get the results. Over here, it is able to fetch. And for the history, which is the save locations, after searching, as you can see, it is able to retrieve it. And this is render. I use the web service from render for the back end deployment. And for the front end, I use render as well, the static site. as you can see here. And that is it for my video. Thank you.